everyone, and welcome to Take a Sip, the YouTube show about everything community investments program. My name is Meaghan Morris. I'm the Senior Programs Associate in the CIP, and today I am joined by Dora Lee Stanley and Gerry Conboy from Saratoga-Wilton, New York, lodge number 161. Hi, how are you both? Thank you so much for joining me today.
Good afternoon, Meaghan.
Hi, Gay. How are you, Meaghan?
I am so good. Thank you. And if you would like to introduce yourselves and specify which role you have at your lodge.
Sure. I'll let Gerry do the honors first.
Okay, my name is Gerry Conboy, as you said, Meaghan, and I'm a past exalted ruler. I had the privilege and honor of being the exalted ruler during COVID. So I got to do 2 years because I was the exalted ruler during COVID. So I'm a PER now. And Dora Lee?
My name is Dora Lee Stanley, and I'm the exalted ruler of the Saratoga-Wilton Lodge 161 for the 2022-23 year.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you so much again for joining me today on Take a Sip. I had the honor and privilege myself of meeting both Dora Lee and Gerry this last couple weeks ago at convention. And after speaking with them and hearing more about their lodge, I just knew I had to have them on Take a Sip. So Gerry and Dora Lee, how was your convention? How was your convention experience?
Well,
go ahead, Dora.
I was elated to find out that this year the Atlanta convention was going to feature the exhibit hall. And so I visited the E&F booth and I met face-to-face with you and other E&F staffers. And as the project manager for our lodge's impact grant, I was able to ask some questions that I had and got on the spot answers.
And I had to deliver the socks and books. So I automatically stopped by because I wanted to get registered for that drawing for the $2,000 CIP grant. Haven't heard anything, but.
Yes, exactly. So yes, the winners of the raffle for the supply drive at convention will be announced this Friday in CIP Club. So if you're early access here at Take a Sip, you'll be finding out tomorrow about whether or not you're a winner for the raffle. So I'm still hoping for you guys. We'll find out soon enough.
You can always use those CIP grants.
Yes.
Exactly. So yes, so I'm so glad you both mentioned the supply drive and being able to come to the E&F booth. We were so excited to meet you. I also saw you both popping around in the New York section at opening ceremonies. So thank you for going to that as well. We were able to show a video about Bremerton, Washington, lodge number 1181, specifically about their impact grant, Reading for Readiness, and everything that they're able to do to impact their community with their impact grant. But I specifically wanted to talk to your lodge, Saratoga-Wilton, because you also have an impact grant, which you've mentioned. It's an excellent grant. You're brand new this year, so this is your first year of the project. And I was wondering if you could give me a little insight about it. Dora Lee, you mentioned you were the project manager. Do you want to give us the crash course of your impact grant?
Sure. Our impact grant is titled Engaging and Supporting Our Community to End Relationship Abuse and Sexual Assault. We have partnered with Wellspring, which is our county's domestic violence services agency. They provide services throughout the community for awareness, as well as letting people know about domestic and sexual assault. And that's what our project involves. There is, surprisingly, in Saratoga County, the number 2 crime in Saratoga County is domestic violence. And this inspired the thinking, why don't we address that in a positive way by partnering with Wellspring regarding supporting and engaging the community on issues around that.
Yes, I love that. And one of the things I really love and respect about your project is you're starting with the prevention of sexual violence and domestic violence, and you're engaging the community on how to stop that, creating conversations and awareness about this issue that you found was focused or was impacting your community in a huge way. So I know you're also doing podcasts with Wellspring, correct? Is there one that's going to be coming out soon?
Yes, and it's going to feature Gerry and I and another past exalted ruler, and it's going to focus on workforce development program that Wellspring is putting on, and that is going to involve us talking about how we started out in our careers and how we worked our way through from entry level and advanced. And then we became volunteers and eventually became leaders within the Elks. And this whole idea is to impress upon women and men who are impacted by domestic violence or sexual assault that they too can meet the challenges of their lives and maybe inspired to do something in their lives as far as employment.
It's all new to us and we're going to be working on it.
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. And thank you so much. Gerry, did you have anything to add about the Impact Grant project?
Well, Wellspring is an organization that I had been working with over the past several years on a limited basis. But with the Impact Grant, it gives us more of an impact, you know, to be able to partner with them and work with them. And it's certainly been an enjoyable experience so far. We're meeting wonderful people. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the organization, we don't have contact with clients because it's all security driven. So, but we're on the outside working to help those people that are on the inside. So,
exactly.
Yes. And we also, so supporting Wellspring, we participated in an ongoing series, Community Conversation, and we had 4 conversations that actually dealt with the intricacies of domestic violence. And we had a conversation on stigma, finances, red tape, and employment. And in each of those conversations that were on separate occasions with our Elk members as well as members from the community, we were able to learn different issues that impact people that are in those situations and that can prevent them from leaving. Mm-hmm. And that was very enlightening, as well as during the conversations, we learned what our partner Wellspring could do as far as helping people with those situations, be it housing needs, being it immediate counseling, but also just making the community aware that this is a serious situation that impacts our community.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important that we have Elks like you and lodges like you that are stepping up to do something about it. And to bring that awareness to your community is incredible and inspiring. And we thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Something I really love about your Impact Grant project in particular, and something you've touched upon, is that you've created this partnership with Wellspring, and you're making a difference in what they're doing, but you're also putting your own lodges stamp on that as well by having these conversations, by really engaging the community in that way. And that is what the crux of an impact grant is all about. And you're really just highlighting that and making that such progress known in your community. And the impact grant intent, so you're a brand new impact grant lodge this year, and we're going to be welcoming a new class of impact grants coming up soon. We have the impact intent, which is the first step of the impact grant process. The deadline is coming up on August 31st. So I was wondering if either of you two had any advice for any lodges that were looking to get an impact grant, what they could do, if you have any suggestions as that August 31st deadline is looming.
Well, if you have an idea that's in the back of your mind, the important thing is to get to the agency or the people that you want to work with, because they will tell you what they need and what you can do for them. We can only think about things that they might need, but when you have the conversation with your partner, they can steer you in the right direction. And that's so important that you speak with them. We met with Wellspring at least twice before we even telephoned you to say, we got this idea that just might work. And so we had already met with them on a couple of occasions before we even called. So you said, well, this sounds kind of interesting. Let's see what you can propose. And we went from there. But the other, excuse me, but the other thing that I might want to add is it is all about partnering with somebody in the community, you know, because, for example, you know, we have the Veterans Grant, and we have partnered with the Salvation Army because we're having a stand down for homeless veterans. We don't have access to homeless veterans, but the Salvation Army does. So it's important to know who your partners are going to be.
And to also look at what other grants were given out and what are their intent, so that you can see what type of programs the ENF are sponsoring, and you can also embellish upon maybe an idea from another lodge's idea. But I agree with Gerry, you have to do some research and homework before you even start to write down your intent or even inquire with your partner, whoever that will be in the community.
Yes, that is both excellent advice. Thank you so much. Gerry, I love your specific highlight about how you have to work with your partner organizations and make sure that they're willing to work with you before you submit an intent. And Dora Lee, that is an excellent idea about looking at past grants that we've approved for the impact grant. You as a lodge can see any one of the grant projects that we have funded through impact grants right on our website, right on the impact grant page. It details, you know, the 60 lodges that we've funded currently, and you can go through, see their projects. You can actually go through on the grant history tool on our resources page and read the applications that they ended up submitting. So if something is inspiring you as a lodge, feel free to see what that lodge has done for a project that might be similar, or if you've noticed that we haven't funded anything that you think is a huge issue in your community too, please send us an intent. Feel free to reach out to me before you do so, and I will offer any advice and any suggestions personalized to you and your lodge. And thank you both so much for that. I would be remiss if I didn't mention how amazing your lodge is, specifically about all of your pictures and all of the publicity you end up doing for your grant projects.
Yeah.
We receive the best pictures from your lodge, and there's always so many plentiful ones to choose from to highlight on our social media through the Elks National Foundation. So I was also wondering if you had any advice or any tips and tricks for our loyal viewers here at Take a Sip about any publicity or photo taking that you might share with us.
Well,
go ahead. We all have phones.
We all have phones, and We love to take pictures of things that we are doing involving our grant. And so it's easy. You take a picture of your grant in action, and you can also share it with your partner in the grant, because they will feature it in their newsletter or their social media outlets. And therefore, you are then getting the Elks name out there and what we are doing to impact our community. So no issue with taking pictures of when you're doing something that involves community service, particularly if it's involving your grant.
Exactly. And that's one of our, zeitgeists here in the CIP. We know that people want to get involved in organizations that are doing great things. And what's the best way to figure out if an organization is doing great things is to publicize that. And so thank you both so much again for being here from Saratoga-Wilton, New York, lodge number 161. They're doing amazing things in your community. I encourage everyone watching to take a look at their applications, take a look at their final reports to see what I'm talking about with all of their amazing grant projects. Dora Lee and Gerry, thank you so much again for joining us today. This has been Take a Sip, and I hope you all submit an impact intent on or by August 31st. Thank you and have a great day.
Bye, Meaghan.
Bye.
Bye.